Oh, what's up, Vape Fam? How we doing today? Welcome once again to the brand new installment of the Visual Vapor Reviews. Pleasure to see y'all here in my vape den. We got something special today on Spectacular Saturday. Right before going off to work later today, we've got some new kind of topic thing to talk about today. So, when you're starting vaping for the first time, you're getting off those icky sticks and you're looking into it and you've heard about e-cigs before. You're thinking to yourself, okay, what should I buy? There's a lot of different ones out on the market. Which one's the right one for me and how will I know? Well, that's the point of today's topic. The 4 things you need to know before you buy for vape things. If you're new to vaping, there are 4 things you need to know before you buy. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. But first off, how you guys doing today? For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Cobb. I run the Visual Vapor Reviews YouTube channel, and I'm where I do video reviews on mods, tanks, products, and various other things for vape-related items, such as full-on units, pod systems like this Vuse Alto. I also do semi-topic things, such as various topics on vaping, as well as how to work, what to buy, and how to make informed decisions on what to buy before switching to vaping. I also do rebuildables so that I can teach you guys how to build on various different decks. So, now that we've gotten the intros out of the way, pleasure to meet you all. Thank you for joining me today on this spectacular Saturday. And, well, we'll jump right into it. So, this was a pretty easy thing to go with. The 4 things to learn when you're new to, 4 things to know or learn before you buy when you're new to vaping. And there are 3 basic types of vaporizers out there. Well, actually, technically there are 4. So, this is the standard one you're used to seeing, a basic e-cigarette. Some people, when they first buy, they graduate right away to a pod system, which is non-refillable. Mine is, of course, but that's just me. So you have your refillable pod right here. Well, in my case, it's refillable. When you first buy it, it's not. So you have your pod systems that are pre-filled. Then you have your tanks, which are really easy to use with easy replaceable atomizers. Gives off a lot more vapor. Bigger clouds. That's what you usually graduate to if you're into the hobby part. And then lastly, if you're really into the hobbying, you'll get something like this, a mechanical mod. Which allows you to really tailor your flavor and help you really enjoy that vape. Because when you get off cigarettes and you start really vaping, you're in it for the flavor for sure. So let's get into this mini topic. So, are you new to vaping? Here are the 4 things you need to know before you buy. Now, this was a article published on the Mist Hub, published on February 4th of 2017, so last year. And it's pretty general, it's pretty easy. So, let's get right into it. I'm going to be reading it, so if you see me glance off, I have my tablet over here so I can read it. This is not published by me, I haven't written it. Don't know exactly what's going on, but let's see what I can do. Let's adjust this camera before we get right into it. Okay, so we're back. We got it fixed. Alright, so sorry about that. I had to get the camera adjusted and ready to go. So, when you're smoking, a lot of people are used to cigarettes, and it's pretty simple to understand how it can be pretty addicting. They like the cloud, they like the smell, stuff like that, or some people are just in it for the nicotine addiction. Now, when you smoke, there's a methodology to it. which is what's known as a mouth-to-lung hit. With vaping, a lot of the times when you graduate to a more powerful unit, you do direct to lung. Mouth to lung is where you put it in your mouth and then you take it to your lungs, which is the usual way smoking a cigarette works. And when people start vaping, that's what they're usually looking for, something that mimics a cigarette. So pod mods and e-cigarettes work the same way. So I'll show you a mouth-to-lung hit with this. There's no nicotine in mine, so don't worry about that. I've never used nicotine, for those of you who are new. I've never used nicotine in my vape mods, so this is how a mouth-to-lung hit works. So you'll take your pod system. This is draw activated, no buttons, see? So I'll try to just do it like this so you guys can see. See? All right, so this is a mouth-to-lung hit. Mouth to lung. Really easy, really simple. Can't really do it on the bigger mods. Very good flavor. I've got I think it's menthol, cool mint or whatever, something like that, similar to cooling watermelon, something like that. So really good flavor, not much for tricks, but you can do a couple of tricks like rings, like you could do off of a cigarette, but cigarettes are a little harder. But let's show you how this works. So you can do small rings, nothing huge, but so I know we're off topic for a second, but I'm showing you guys the methodology behind it. Alright, so that's the pod system. Now I'll show you something like this. This is a direct lung hit. See? You get a lot more vapor. Alright, let's get into this topic before we get too far off track and waste too much time. So if you're new to vaping, everything about it can seem confusing in a very big way. Even the words associated with the products are foreign. Tanks, coils, sub-ohm, clearamizers, mods, and juice mean something completely different in this industry. And for some people, the sheer fact that these terms are foreign to them can make them feel uncomfortable. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable when they're trying to learn, so in this post, we'll talk about the various components that make up the whole of your new vape setup, how each piece works, and some of the different aspects of each component that can change your vaping experience, and how to knowledgeably and decisively choose the vaping equipment that's right for your needs, which is basically the point of this channel. So continue reading and enjoy what you're learning. And if you still have questions, feel free to contact the Mist Hub on www.misthub.com, and they'll be happy to help you learn anything you might need. So, how does it work? Most people who are trying vaping for the first time have one simple, easy, general question. How does it work? It's a simple yet important question, but with a somewhat complicated answer. The succinct answer is this. The tank of your vaping device holds the liquid of your choice, and the cotton wicks inside absorb the juice. When you activate the device, the coils in the tank or clearamizer are heated up, and the juice evaporates. You then inhale the vapor. So in here, there's a coil, and it's usually a spring shape of this kind of wire. So I'll do a quick general explanation. See how that's wrapped up like that? Picture many more wraps, and it's like a spring. That's basically what you have for a coil in these things, or any other vaping device. Better example, here. Not exactly like this, but they look pretty similar to that. And basically, in essence, what this article is saying is, you have your liquid down here, and this is the basic bare bones of it. You have your liquid down here, and the cotton soaks up that liquid. Then, when your vaping device is activated by pushing the fire switch, these coils are heated up and they vaporize or evaporate the liquid. So watch. See? That's basically any vaping device, no matter what it is. It will always have that bare bone in it, no matter what shape it is. So the more complicated answer to the how does it work question depends on a variety of different factors, such as the type of device you're using, the tank your device is outfitted with, the type of the coils, and so much more. And that's why we'll now break this down even further so you can get to know your vaping device even better. So what is an e-cig made out of? An e-cig may seem complicated, but it's a really simple system that converts liquid to vapor. However, there are different types of various types of e-cigs to suit the various needs of and types of use. So the entire device, called the atomizer, comes in 3 different forms: the clearomizer, the glassomizer, and the cartomizer. Each e-cig is made up of the battery, also called the mod, the coils, and the tank. The battery powers the device and can be either integrated into the unit or replaceable. So, for example, this is an example of a built-in battery. You can't take it out. There's no way to change the battery out if it dies. An external or replaceable is this kind of battery. It's just a regular giant battery, 18650, 3000 milliamp hour or mAh. And then the mod houses the battery and charges the device. So in this case, same basic principle. This right here is the mod. The coils are wires that have been wound into a coil shape. The coils heat the e-liquid on the wicks to create vapor that you inhale. So in this case, coils, tank, vaporization. See? Pretty simple to understand, right? Okay, the tank is the part that holds the wicks, the heating coil, and the e-juice, no matter what it is. So in this case, this would be considered your tank. What type of tank should I use? Number 3. It's difficult to say which component of vaping is the most important, as professionals all have different opinions. But we'll start with the tank as it's part of your device and that you must be most aware of. Again, there are many different types of vape tanks to choose from, but they all function in basically the same way, as I said before. They all hold the e-juice of your choice that feed the juice either by cotton or wick to the coil, which heats up the juice to the point of vaporization, which you inhale. For many people who are new to vaping, the type of tank is more about volume than anything else. But your budget and other factors can come into play when choosing your first setup. Always ask questions if you're unsure about any aspect of your new vaping device. Currently, the most popular tanks will be glass sub-ohm vape tanks, which will last longer and save you money. The money you'd need to replace the plastic tank as it begins to break down. So, number 4, when should I change the coil? The coils will wear down over time and need to be replaced, and there are several ways of tanks and coils go hand in hand, as they're arguably the 2 most important components of your vape device. However, just like there are many variations of the tank, there are variations of your coils as well. Knowing that, some more experienced vapors prefer to be using rebuildable coils, like what I've shown you here, and swap them out when necessary. Coils also come in a variety of shapes and types, from stainless steel to ceramic. You'll know that when it's time to change your coils when the amount of taste in the vapor isn't quite up to par. Depending on the type of atomizer you're using, changing the coil is a pretty straightforward affair. You simply remove the base of your atomizer, take out your coil, and screw in a new one. In my case, I just take out the coil and put in new wicks and everything else. And it's really simple. I save a lot of money by doing this. Some older atomizers, clearomizers, have their coils located at the top of the device, but this is becoming rarer and rarer. Regardless, you should always be sure to change your coils when necessary to ensure you have the best vaping experience possible. This is some very basic but reliable information for someone who is new to vaping. Of course, there are many more topics to cover, and if you're interested in learning more about the type of vape setup is right for you, contact them and they'll be pleased to help you explain more, and they'll be pleased to explain in more detail. So, basically, the 4 things you really need to know are taking care of your atomizer, which one's best for you, and basically being able to make the right decision for them. So there's a lot of different topics that you can kind of understand. It's pretty simple. They seem to you seem to think that a lot of people seem to think that because they are so big and bulky and scary that it's not right for them. But that's just not true. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes. And the flavors are unparalleled with everything else. So, let's see what else we got here. Here's another one. So, PG or VG, which juice is right for you? Now, this isn't a Topic Tuesday version on Saturday version of the Topic Tuesdays. This is a quick topic about things that this channel is based on, kind of helping you guys out with when you're new to vaping. So, let's fix this a little bit. Hold up. Sorry. Okay. So, this is also on the Mist Hub, and it was published February 21st of 2017. So, PG or VG, which juice is right for you? A lot of vaping has... Basically, a lot of vape juices have an even 50-50 mix of PG and VG. However, you can get your e-juice tailored for your type, like 30-70 and different pieces. That affects how much vapor you put out, as well as the thickness of your clouds and how well the flavor is carried on. Or how strong the throat hit is. So if you like a strong throat hit, which really hits you hard in the back of the throat, then a higher PG ratio would be a higher PG version in the ratio would be better for you. Now, in my case, I use 30-70, 30 to 70 PG VG. So that's 30 PG, 70 VG. Now, people wonder what that stands for. PG stands for propylene glycol, one of the main components or bases in vape liquid, and vegetable glycerin, another one of the chemical compounds known in vape liquid. Now, when you think cigarettes, you think the first thing that's bad for you is nicotine and the thousands of chemicals that you can't name. But what makes vaping so special is you know everything that's in vape liquid. There are 4 chemicals. 4. And the 4th one is optional. So we'll go over that right now. The 4 chemicals are as follows. PG and VG, propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin. The regular flavoring, which goes into all your vape liquid, it's regular USP grade flavoring, which is found in almost every food you can think of. Well, every flavored food, that is. And then finally, the optional one, nicotine. Nicotine is optional in all of your vape liquids, and when it says 0, it's 0, because there are some people who are allergic to nicotine, and many vape liquid companies would get sued if they said it was 0, and someone who's allergic to nicotine vapes it, and then has an allergic reaction. So, that's why they're so careful to make sure that if it says there's no nicotine, there's no nicotine. So, in my case, I use 30 to 70 PG-VG ratio, and it's a really good flavor, and it gives a nice strong throat hit in the back of my throat. So it's really flavorful and really filling. Well, it's really the flavor really pops. So it's a really good flavor when it comes to higher PG-VG ratios. This one is a 30-70 PG-VG ratio. I have one 50-50 in my Squonk tank, the black box over there, for those of you who don't know what that is. I also explained Squonk boxes in a previous video, so please be sure to go check that out. So let's show you guys how this works. So let's do it. This is a 30-70 PG-VG, and you'll notice that I won't be able to put out as much vapor, but it'll be more than the pod. See? And that's because I wasn't able to put out nearly as much as I usually do in my past videos because it's a really strong throat hit. It's a higher VG-PG combo. So, now you may think I'm doing a mouth-to-lung hit with this, but in reality I'm doing a direct lung hit, which brings it all down to my lungs to allow me to play with the vapor a little more if I should want to do tricks, and it gives a better flavor. So, that's a mouth-to-lung. But usually it's a lot easier to do direct lung hits with something like this. So, let me show you guys this thing. This is the Squonk Box, and I can't do direct mouth to lungs with this one because it puts off so much vapor. There we go. All right. Seems like it's getting a little cloudy in here. I might want to cut it down a little bit. Okay. So vapors have been debating the propylene glycol versus vegetable glycerin issue for quite some time, and it's hard to decide which base for your e-juice is right for you. Both have their benefits and drawbacks, both behave differently in your vaporizer, and both result in different tastes, throat feel, and amounts of vapor. Both PG and VG, or a combination of the two, are widely available for purchase, but the choice depends on what you might want for your vaping experience, and some issues that certain consumers might face when using PG alone when combined with VG. Why? Well, let's take a look at what PG and VG actually are and why knowing the difference can make your vaping much more satisfying. Propylene glycol is an odorless and colorless fluid with a light, smooth feel. When used as a base for e-juice, it tends to provide a feeling in the throat that many users describe very similar to that of a cigarette. It carries no flavors, although in some cases a sweetener is added to the PG itself and has no flavor. PG was the base of most fluids when the vaping industry began. Most vape devices were designed specifically for this type of fluid, and PG fluid is thin enough to keep the coils from clogging, which is why it's still very popular. However, most of the juices available today have varying ratios of PG to VG, as the market of vaping trends have changed. One other benefit of the vape juice with a higher PG base is the amount of vapor exhaled is very low, so it's easier to stealth vape with this product. PG fluids also tend to carry flavor very well, so if you're particularly fond of an intense flavor when you vape, then PG is definitely the right choice for you. Vegetable glycerin is derived from a vegetable oil that is thicker than propylene glycol. One advantage of using VG is that since it's plant-based, many vegetarians and vegans prefer it as it better fits their lifestyle. Also, in some rare cases, people have had minor allergic reactions to propylene glycol, and when they switch to vegetable glycerin, the side effects disappear completely. Since vegetable glycerin is a bit sweet on its own, vape juice flavors that are also sweet are best enhanced with vegetable glycerin. So if you really enjoy sweet flavors like strawberry, then a VG juice is going to give you better results. Some vegetable glycerin users also find the juice to be a bit less harsh on the throat than propylene glycol, and it's the better option for sub-ohm vaping. VG also produces a lot more vapor than straight PG, and it really appeals to those who love those bright, thick clouds of vapor that look so great in Instagram photos. Also, if you're into competitive vaping, then a high VG fluid is definitely the one that will have your cloud as long and dense as they can possibly be. One thing to consider when using vegetable glycerin is the fact that since it's so thick, it doesn't work well in older machines and those with smaller coils. So which one should I choose? Obviously, if you've ever suffered from a rash or other reaction from propylene glycol, then you shouldn't use juice that is labeled PG free. Other than that, the choice is really up to you. Most juices contain a combination of the two, or you can mix it into your own to a level that suits your taste. Also, each fluid tends to suit different flavors better than the other. For instance, the thickness of VG works really well with flavors like cream, custard, caramel, and milkman. E-juices are really popular for those who care into the creamy flavors of a max VG juice. Fruity flavors and drink flavors tend to suit propylene glycol juices better than VG, so you'll want to look for a higher ratio of PG ratio in fruit flavors, which are your go-to juice. The Space Jam Andromeda has a 50-50 to PG to VG ratio and is really well suited to that flavor. So what's the takeaway, now that you know what's in your e-juice, how it works, and the results it provides? The choice is completely up to you. If you're into lots of vapor and a smoother taste and feel, look for a high VG product. If you like your vape to feel and taste more like a cigarette, go for a higher VG product. Or you can mix and match and blend different juices to find a combination that you really like. And if you have any questions, be sure to check out the customer support team, which is always available on MistHub, to help you choose the juice that's right for you and get your order on its way to your door. So that about wraps that up. So we can turn off my tablet now and kind of finish everything up. So let's do that real quick. Give me just a sec, guys. So we've covered two topics today. We've covered which vape juice ratio is good for you versus propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, and the 4 things you need to know when you're trying to quit smoking and switch to vaping, which really helps make informed decisions on what you needed, which was the base of this channel from the beginning. Sorry, I need to sit down for just a nanosec. I've been sitting up directly in a chair that's trampoline and meant to be laid down in more than sat up in, so it's not overly comfortable. I need to get a different chair. So now that you guys know everything you need to basically arm yourselves with information about what vape is best for you when you're trying to switch, I'd love to know what you guys think about it in the comments. Which was your first vape when you switched from cigarettes and tried vaping for the first time? Was it a standard Cartomizer e-cig? Was it a pod system like this, or the Juul? Or was it straight up mechanical and you just wanted those big clouds of vapor, whether you were able to blow them or not, and you just kept practicing? Be sure to leave those comments down below. I definitely want to know, because it's always nice to hear the story of new vapors and what helped them switch over from smoking. Smoking is definitely dead, and vaping is the way of the future, because seriously, it definitely will help you. I've seen so many successful stories of people who are smokers and they switch to vaping for the health benefits and the great aspects of vaping that is today. I mean, there's so much to choose from, whether it be a pod or a full-on mod system. It's awesome. I find that these are great for on the go when you're just looking to stealth vape. For me, it's really simple to stealth vape. All you gotta do is just pull up your jacket, blow it down your shirt, and nothing is seen. You didn't even see that. You'll see the green light. Ready? Nothing. No vapor. I'm not even seeing it come out of my shirt. It's easy. That's what I usually do when I'm trying to stealth vape, or when I'm really trying to stealth vape. Just hold it in. Don't move. Just hold it, and then let it out, and you barely see anything. Really easy to stealth vape. It's harder to stealth vape with something like this because it puts off so much vapor. Watch this. So you will definitely see vapor come off this. It's impossible to stealth vape with this. See? No way you're gonna hide that. And you even saw it coming out of my nostril, whether I wanted it to or not, it was still coming out. So you definitely got to be aware of that when you're trying to vape stealthily. And we'll talk about how to vape stealthily in Topic Tuesday. That'll be the next topic, vaping on the sly. That's what I'll call that. So that'll definitely be fun. That'll be Topic Tuesday tomorrow. Probably not going to be able to get a video up because I have a Christmas get-together with my family. So I'll be in Massachusetts all day. I might do a video upload, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe when I get home. It all depends on what goes on and when I get home and how late it'll be. But I promise that if I don't do a video tomorrow, I will definitely make up for it and do a video on Monday, which is off of my normal schedule. So I'll definitely try to do that for you guys. So thanks so much for checking out these videos. Be sure to leave your comments in the crotch box. Be sure to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you stay up to date on all the latest updates and uploads from VVR. Be sure to check out my channel and as well as my Facebook page, which is the Visual Vapors. That is on Facebook, and it's pretty easy to find. You'll find it with a black picture frame that has a bunch of vape coils and tanks and stuff on it. Really cool. I upload pictures regularly and stuff like that. Be sure to grow that community out a little bit and definitely check it out. So why don't we end this off with a few tricks and a quick question at the end of that. So we'll start off with a couple of easy tricks, which will go between all three devices: pod, vape, squonk, pod, squonk, and box. So let's do that real quick. We'll try a couple of rings on the pod after a mouth to lung hit, and then we'll try it all on the rest. Cool. All right, let's go for the box. All right, nice. Okay, let's try a dragon slash ring set on the squonk box before we end this off with a question. There we go, guys. All right, so the question of today is, what was your first vaporizer? What got you into vaping, and what was your first starter kit? My first starter kit was the Smok Baby Beast, and before that it was the Vapin Plus. That wasn't a really full-on kit, that was just a starter mod. But my first official starter kit was the Smok Baby Beast stick. So leave your comments down in the crotch box. Be sure to tell me what your first vaping device was and what got you into vaping. So until next time, guys, as always, I'm your host, Michael Cobb. Be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's video, or possibly done on Monday, so that you guys can stay up to date. And thank you so much, guys. You guys make this possible. So until next time, I'm your host, Michael Cobb, and these have been the Visual Vapor Reviews. Peace, guys.